Hello! Welcome to another week at the Kingdom Games Studio. I am Chris, your humble community servant, and this week we're back again with Joe.
Yo!
Game designer extraordinaire.
That's me.
What's been going on this week?
Patchwork, plans, documentation, lots of documentation.
Lots of secret stuff.
Lots of Microsoft
secret
Word.
documents
Stuff
that's all
coming
classified. And
Yeah, that we can't confirm anything.
can't confirm or
But-
deny the existence of said documents, but
I can confirm that work is happening.
work is happening
Yeah.
on documentation. On classified documents. Work is happening on classified documents.
Correct.
Bug squashing, obviously.
Yep.
We have a second patch that is coming out imminently. I won't say when, but it may be tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. We're going to have a patch out. Fixing more stuff, more bugs being squashed,
Yep.
some other cool additions and stuff. We'll get to that in a little bit. How you feeling today? Good?
I'm feeling good. How about you?
I'm great. Excited for Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah, we're
Travel, family, all that
yeah.
fun stuff.
Actually, I'm very happy to say I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm
That's
going home and I'll play some video
staycation.
games. Yep.
Staycation. Any new releases that you're getting back to, or?
I am in the middle of a whole bunch of games, actually. Trying to just beat things before I continue on, and then I have the big, dominating Fallout 4
Of course.
sitting there, waiting to be played.
I'm
and
like level 13, I think, and I'm just slowly playing.
Yeah,
But mostly working.
yeah. I'm a big one of those, start the main quest, get distracted, doing infinite side quests.
Yeah, that's kind of where I went. Started roaming the streets of Boston.
Yeah.
That, and Just Cause 3, and Ben and Ed. I don't know if you played that.
I'm actually,
Awesome.
no, but one of the games I'm playing right now is Just Cause 2, and I
Yes.
refuse to buy Just Cause 3 until I've 100%ed every town. So
Okay, so you're
I
not
spend
getting
about
Just
an
Cause
hour.
3.
Yeah, I spend about an hour going to the 10 different towns in Just Cause looking for all the little extras to find.
Oh my.
And then, like, I have made a dent, and then I zoom out right before I quit the game with the map, and I see what tiny percentage I've done.
I got
This is
to
gonna be forever.
35% and gave up.
Man.
Never
You know what's
again.
even crazier?
What?
I am about that right now. I've completed the entire northeast
Yeah.
corner of the map, and I'm working my way through a full circle.
Yeah.
And I've already done that to about 25% on Xbox 360. I'm playing it on Steam now,
Oh my.
but I did it on 360. But then I bought it in a Steam sale, and now I'm doing it again
Oh.
because
It's
I don't
too
know what
much.
it is about that game, but
It's addicting. It's
I just
amazing.
love finding everything.
I love that one.
Yeah.
All right, what else is going on this week? Well, of course, let's talk about the fun stuff. We are Kingdom Games ATX on all your favorite social media. I'll put a nice little plug in the chat right here. We are live on Steam right now with our game 5 Guardians of David. It is action RPG, Diablo style, if you will.
That's correct.
Pretty solid game, fun to play, especially the end game skills. I'm a big fan of the Shema bombs, I'll be honest.
Shema bombs.
Throwing a lot of Shema bombs when I play. A lot of Shema bombs.
Shamabom.
Yeah, Shema bomb.
Shamabom.
A lot of that. We are on plenty of social media. We do a weekly show on Twitch. We're going to take a couple weeks off because the Christmas break's just about to start, so that's exciting. We have a patch coming out tomorrow, and we had a patch that came out last week that had lots of fixes in it for little things people had. So feel free to come to our Steam forums and leave little suggestions if you have any, or if you find anything, come across anything that looks a little funky, let us know, and we'll have our QA team look into
We
it.
really are looking at it and
Yeah.
checking out, and we're trying to see, going forward, what we can do to make this the best experience ever.
Yeah.
Just because we released it doesn't mean we're just going to abandon it. We're going to keep making the experience better and better, so please share your feedback.
Yeah, and they see it. They see
Yeah,
it. They
I
go,
do.
oh, another email from Chris. Gotta go to the forums. They check everything out. Anything you post on there does get forwarded around, so feel free to post on there. You can always shoot me an IM on Steam directly too. We'll get to whatever ails you or concerns you, or maybe just have a cool suggestion. We've had people put a lot of really interesting ideas and
Yeah.
feedback that we're gonna take and probably do something with. Maybe, I don't know. Confidential stuff. All right, let's get in the game. Want to get in the game?
Yeah.
All right,
Let's
cool.
get in the game.
I am putting you on my save, which I think is
Where am I?
around. I think it's around one of your levels. It's later in the game. I want to say it's around Act 8 somewhere. Give or take somewhere around Act 8, I think. Where are we?
We're in A3. This actually is one of my levels.
Awesome. I'm good like that. Had it all
And
prepped for you.
I think we were playing this. Was Amy on the show during
Yes,
the day?
Amy was.
Yeah,
Amy
and I
started. I think 8-1, 8-2 last week.
Yeah, and I mentioned I may have mentioned this before, but it's worth noting again. The thing about this map that just I love is probably has some of the most beautiful terrain painting
Oh yeah.
I've ever seen in a game. Now I've generated, this kind of terrain myself, and smart terrain like Unreal Development Kit's Kismet. They're material editor and everything, but I've never generated. This looks like a painting.
Yeah, this is gorgeous.
Just look at that. I'm gonna zoom right in there.
And I think Steven had talked before about all these leaves are painted.
Yeah.
It's really got this nice autumn feel in the later levels. It's really just so cool. And it's so distinctly different from the earlier levels when you're in kind of this really bright, summery desert locations.
There's a lot of city levels in the first part of the game, then it gets more to like open areas and rocky terrain. And then you go through the canyon in Act 7, which is another one of my levels. And you start to get a little more grassier areas later on. But yeah, I love this level.
Yeah, it's very, very pretty.
And then we should be running into some Israelites getting a little overwhelmed.
Oh,
let's help them out here.
Oh my.
Oh yeah, I should use abilities.
You should probably use abilities.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you dev guys always think you can just kind of...
Whoa!
Wow.
Alright. Let's do that again.
Yeah, they really got you good.
Okay, inventory. That helps. There we go.
Oh.
I'm gonna auto-equip some stuff, check it out, see where I am. Let's go through and now...
That might be my fault.
Go to
saved
the...
my progress.
Joshua Beam? Can I have the Joshua Beam? No? Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. He's not in this level.
What are you doing, Joe? You know these things. So this is 5, patch 2. In addition to a lot of the fixes from patch 1, we had major AI improvements. We also had some big pathfinding bugs that we squashed out.
Yeah, you should be seeing a lot less of our good friends and followers getting stuck on stuff.
And they're going to be very aggressive in the battle, and they're really not messing around when it comes to your foes.
No.
Oh, it didn't save any
points.
of my stuff.
Okay, there we go.
That
So I'm going to grab me a speed shot and rank that up to 5.
Oh, that's my fault. I switched the build.
Okay.
I
And
changed
there's
my save file.
That's fine. I'll go with here. And... Ooh, that's a rooting technique. I like the fire, actually. Rank that up. And this is mostly buffs and stuff. Crit chance. And range attack power by 5 seconds. Let's go with that. I have the points. Spend the points. That too. Cool.
Awesome sauce, as we would say. But, when you don't skill out your character and properly gear out, it can cause some issues. So, that's my bad. Playing with some builds, so I want to make sure we had the patch build. And I was playing off the Steam version, so that's my mistake on that one. There you go. That's what I like to see. Oh, beautiful terrain and taking out the aliens one by one. Also in this patch, what else do we have? We have some nice balance changes in various places, some various level fixes, little nicks and crannies there. The additional donation comic, which I actually haven't seen yet.
I haven't laid eyes on that one either yet.
Yeah, that was one of the big additions I noticed. Of course, pathfinding, some various little things, pop up here. Like, there's a cache that was out of reach that
Strong guy.
Skated by.
I can't.
Of course, visuals when your comrades fall. You get like a nice little visual notification. Lots of little polished things that we nicked and crannied. And of course, stuff from last week that you know all about. Cause I know you were doing a ton of bug squashing. There's one email I saw that you sent to James. It was just a smiley face. You just like squashing those bugs, just taking them out.
Yeah. It's a good point now that we've been patch 1. We took care of some of the big stuff that was looming over us. And patch 2, mostly focusing on navigation, clarification missions. Yeah, and the simple things we might have overlooked, enemy positions. I did find 1 or 2 guys spawning into rocks. Simple things like that.
Yeah.
And
it's always funny, but
Yeah.
it doesn't make the game very challenging.
no,
Like that would go in one of the like Hall of Fame blooper reel bugs.
you got
but-
an alchemist throwing stuff at us.
Yeah, he's got to go. It's pretty
there you
sneaky,
go.
the alchemist.
Yeah.
All right.
Go on.
So, this week, a big movie is coming out. I think it's actually coming out tonight. As far
Oh,
as
The
I
Good
know.
Dinosaur. Yeah, I saw it. It was pretty good.
Oh, The Good Dinosaur. No, I was thinking of a different one.
No.
It's
Star
called
Trek Beyond.
Star
yeah.
Trek.
Yeah.
Yes, the Star Trek movie. Yeah, the Star Trek movie is coming out tonight. Of course, Star Wars: Force Awakens, J.J. Abrams' take on George Lucas's classic films, coming out tonight.
Oh yeah.
Pretty exciting. I know you're excited. You're going to see it tonight. As far as I know.
Tomorrow. Actually.
You're seeing it tomorrow.
I'm. Yep. Gonna start my weekend with some Star Wars.
Did you go? Where are you going to go see it? The Alamo?
I'm actually going to see it at the Highland Galaxy
Ooh.
Theater, which is kind of a local chain. Oh, they have some in California, I
Okay.
believe, but
Is it?
It's kind of a-
Is it one of the like upper class theaters? Is it more of like?
it's your, average movie theater. You
Okay.
kind of go in. They're good. You just sit down, and I tried to get myself an Alamo ticket, and it just didn't work out.
Those
Their
were-
website
yeah,
was
was going
not.
crazy.
Yeah, their website was pre-overloaded, and so was Galaxy's. But I got Galaxy in first, and either way, I have to see Star Wars.
Yes.
So I'll be taking off tomorrow just a little bit earlier so I can get online and
I can't.
see me some Star Wars and hopefully not have it spoiled for me before I get there.
I think you're safe there. I tried to get spoilers online last night. I couldn't find any. There's actually Reddit was deploying a team of I think they said
Oh yeah,
7 to
those
10
poor
people
guys
who
have
are,
it all spoiled for you.
yeah, are having to just go in and they're going to moderate heavily so no one can actually leak any spoilers. It's actually interesting.
Yeah, I've
Something
been
you said
avoiding
is-
Reddit lately because of that.
Yeah, you gotta be careful because
I can't.
all the interviews and stuff I read, even the comment sections, were pretty solid. Didn't see any spoilers.
I can't.
But you never know. Actually, something you said that's pretty interesting to me is you said online, and I learned pretty recently that's a New York thing.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's an idiomatic expression that's only in New York. So you say in New York they say we're going to stand online,
Oh.
whereas I would say stand in line.
Forget about it.
Exactly. It's an interesting idiomatic expression. For anyone who's interested in some grammar stuff, it's that one, and you might say I went to Long Island, but you would say I stay on Long Island. It's like you're on an island. That
Oh,
makes
yeah.
sense, but
Well,
might
as a
say-
New Yorker, I try not to go to Long Island, but
yeah.
kidding.
But, yeah,
I'm kidding. I
It's
have
a
cousins
common.
out there.
Yeah, it's a
fine.
common idiomatic. Anyway, so I thought, what more fun since we're in a game design studio? We're making games,
No progress.
and there's been a lot of Star Wars games. A lot.
No, they don't. Not that one thing. I think the Star Wars series and franchise as a whole needs to really step up its game on is marketing. They just
yeah.
don't advertise that
Yeah.
franchise at all nearly enough. It's
and
like
it would be really cool if there were toys too.
yeah,
Did you ever
there's
think
like
about
Star
that?
Trek toys everywhere. I
Yeah,
just
no,
can't
there's
get over it. It's
there's not enough Star Wars
Yeah.
toys. Yeah, Disney is doing a pretty insane.
Can't.
Kylo Ren is Han Solo's son, and he kills Han. Oh, come on! I'm not buying that. I've heard that. My favorite's the Darth Binks theory.
Oh, the Darth Things theory.
Which I'm
There we
gonna.
go.
That's the spoiler. I hope is true.
Can't.
That's the one I'm hoping for. It's possible. I don't know much about it. I've tried to
There we
avoid
go.
it because I didn't buy tickets yet or anything. So I'm,
Oh yeah, it's gonna be. It's sold out for at least a couple weeks, but you can still get some Alamo tickets if you enjoy going to a 7 a.m. showing.
okay, I could do that.
Yeah, if you want to get up at 7 a.m., it's fine.
I could do that
Still
before work. Actually, I should look into that. I should just get up early.
Well, we'll have the vacation actually.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're being silly, man. Hey, Ran is being silly. So, what are some of your favorite Star Wars picks in terms of games? Let's not get into
Star Wars
movies. 'Cause
picks?
everyone talks about the movies. Let's talk about the games. There's a lot of Star
Yeah.
Wars games. There's 6
Well,
movies.
yeah, we
There's
already
a
know
lot of
we
games.
can talk about games. So going back, I do have a favorite, but we'll do this in chronological order, I guess. One of the big games that I started out with Star Wars was on the Sega 32X. It was Star Wars the Arcade Edition.
Yes.
And it was based on the famous Star Wars game, which had 2 iterations. One was the classic vector-based
which is
game.
where you're flying through the tunnel at the end of New Hope, right?
Yeah. Yep. And then you just do that over and over again after you blow up the Death Star. And for local Awesome Nights, if you want to play that, go to Pinball's Arcade, and they have it right there. And then they also have the other one, which was a kind of like, I think, a 90s remake of 3D.
Yeah, I played that. I remember the arcade cabinet, and there was speeders, there was Hawk, and I forgot what the New Hope one was, but probably the Death Star again, right?
Yeah, Death Star. That's how it ends again, Death Star. Yeah, that was a pretty cool thing to have at home. Now, I used to play that and another 32X game called Shadow Squadron, which was both gameplays were very similar, both space shooters. Right. You know, you take off, and that was the cool thing about Shadow Squadron is you actually get to watch the whole takeoff system, including checklists and everything. So when I would play these 2 games, I would arrange the pillows of my bed to become like a pilot seat, and I would watch the checkoff thing. And I like the checkoff thing so much. Even when I was playing the Star Wars Arcade Edition, I would like do my own on a clipboard. Like, all right, good to go, and then take off, and then you go through take some Star Destroyers on, and then finally the Death Star, and good times, yeah.
The oldest one I can think of is TIE Fighter, which was like
kind of like... Yeah, then they had the X-Wing on PC.
Yeah,
TIE
X-Wing. I think I played
They were re-released recently, and I've never played them, but I remember seeing them in like EB Games and stuff, and just thinking, wow, that looks so cool. Like,
it's dated. It's dated, but I mean, like,
I love me some old games.
At the time, man, wow. TIE Fighter was awesome. In terms of other old ones, there was. I actually did a blog post this week about top 5 Star Wars games, and one of them that I called out was the Phantom Menace game. Was actually really good.
Are we talking about the arcade pod racing game?
No, we're talking. There was a licensed game. It was like an adventure RPG.
I did not know that existed.
That followed the events of the first movie.
Wow.
And it had like weird side quests. So like, instead of being you would do like, Qui-Gon had to do all these quests in order to get the parts so they could get the pod race. And so he had to go do this and do a side quest for like some guy on Tatooine who had some like money troubles, or he had to go into a bar, and you could either just break in the bar or you could negotiate with the people. So it kind of had this, like, I don't want to say KOTOR because we'll get to KOTOR, but it had this RPG element, and there were these side quests that were completely off the beaten path you didn't need to do. You got to play all sorts of different characters. You got to play, in the Gungan City, and you got to do all this stuff. It's like, this is really cool, and it was surprisingly good. Buggy and strange at places, but pretty awesome game overall.
Oh, yeah. Star Wars is a franchise that's so encompassing that it's easy to just not even know that some major games even exist.
Yeah, that was...
There's some... there was a fighting game. I don't remember the name
Star
of it.
Wars Masters of Terras Kazi. That was on the PlayStation.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I remember that game. And it had, of course, Mara Jade, who I think has been allegedly cut from lore now, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, I think they basically retroactively took the expanded universe and were like, yeah, we can't work with this, we gotta do something new.
Yes, I don't know if Mara Jade's a character anymore. Mara Jade had a purple lightsaber, Leia had a double-sided yellow-bladed staff. What else could you do? You could unlock Darth Vader and stormtroopers and stuff.
Yeah.
That was a cool game. You could actually have Luke versus Darth Vader, but the sabers are kind of like special attacks, which at the time was a bit OP, but I think nowadays, like, all the fighting games do that kind of stuff, Like, Street Fighter, you have range attacks and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that was a good one. I'm trying to... And then if we go a little bit further in time... we'll skip one. One of your favorites was Empire War? Not Empire War. Shadows of the Empire?
Shadows of the Empire is another one of my favorites when I was younger. So for those who were not either playing PlayStation at the time or were just simply too young to know about this, there was a big deal with that game because apparently it was the first game that they said, yeah, this is canon. Like this actually happened in story. I suppose now that, like we just said, they kind of eliminated the expanded universe, so that's out the window. But it was cool at the time. Like also like the game platform became so, like gaming as a whole became so important that like Star Wars was like, yeah, this counts.
This is real.
Yeah.
And I know. I think the Kyle Katarn series, which is called, it started as Dark Forces, which was a Doom clone. Then they had a sequel that was a Doom clone. Then they broke into this different sort of series called the Jedi Outcast series, which is all about kind of this like foul-mouthed, like, I don't believe in the Jedi Order, but I can still use a lightsaber, like Boba Fett / Luke Skywalker hybrid, Kyle Katarn, who is a spy, and his story took place like in between the story of Star Wars 4 through 6 and then continued onward. So I think he is the guy that actually stole the Death Star's plans.
Oh wow!
So the first level of Dark Forces, you actually stealing the plans of the Death Star in this like
cool.
Doom clone. It was a cool game, like, and the series went on to make like Jedi Academy. It was probably the big famous one where it's just like every force power imaginable, every gun.
I think that was Raven, correct? Like Raven Software.
I think so. Yeah, Raven. They ended up releasing the source code. I don't know if they're still around, but I think they might have folded.
Last thing I heard Raven was doing, they might be doing something new now. Last game I played of theirs was the 2009 Wolfenstein, the one that preceded the New Order.
Oh, yeah, that one didn't do so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Raven's always better when they're doing their own stuff,
Yeah.
or they have a license that
It's hard
kind
to
of like that,
it's
or
always
they made
hard to work the license too.
We were joking about bringing up Star Trek again, but they actually made a really great Star Trek game called Elite Force, which was a first-person shooter based on the Quake 3 engine.
Oh.
And, based on the show Star Trek Voyager, and that's a really good game. I actually played it again recently through, and had a good time. But anyway, back to Star Wars, I guess.
Can't forget Star Wars.
Can't.
Other picks? I'll give you the weird
Disney
ones.
won't let you.
I'll give you some weird ones. Star Wars Obi-Wan.
I've heard of that, but I haven't played it.
It was an Xbox launch title where you play as Obi-Wan.
Oh.
Good lightsaber combat, and again, kind of like weird layered levels. So there's like this kind of cool side questy stuff, but there's also just pure combat.
Speaking of Xbox Star Wars games, I just picked up on Steam recently Republic Commando.
Oh,
I don't know if you've seen that.
I like Republic Commando.
I've only played it once on the original Xbox. I think I might have rented it back when renting was still possible. Yeah. And it was great. It kind of had the Metroid Prime-ish visor to it, and it's so good. I can't wait to get to playing that again. Yeah,
it's surprisingly not as dated as you think it would look. Like, it looked pretty good when I was playing it.
A good art style in a game keeps it forever. It's why certain games, especially during the early polygonal days when they were just switching to 3D, don't look that good because they try too hard to make it look like real life.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff that becomes dated really quickly. When you decide an art style, you either have to go all the way with it and do a really good job like this terrain right here, because good God.
Oof.
Or you just gotta make up, like your own art style, cell shading or whatever, something that there's nothing to compare it to, because that makes a timeless effect. But go on, that was just a tangent of design.
No, that's awesome.
And art, really.
No, I like hearing this stuff. It fascinates me. I didn't know that. That's interesting, because I was actually just watching a video about Double Fine was doing an interview with
I forgot my mission.
One of the leads on Spyro the Dragon. And just looking at that, it's like that game's almost 20 years old, but it doesn't look horribly blocky. Like, it doesn't look horribly dated. Clearly, there's low polygon counts and stuff, but it is so stylized. There's not a lot of stuff that looks like that. Others on my list, if we're going around the early 2000s, I guess you got to get to it at some point. Knights of the Old Republic KOTOR, if you ever played it.
Not as much as I should have, honestly.
You weren't a fan?
Not that I wasn't a fan. It was just I was so occupied with other games that I never got to it. And I mean, if it wasn't inherently like having to do with like flying around in a ship or something like that immediately, like I didn't buy it. One of the things that really attracted me right away to Shadows of the Empire was you basically there's a level where
Yeah, it's like a Star Fox
level.
Yeah,
It's Star Fox like level, and I played that at a demo in Toys R Us, and I was like, "Yep, I'm buying this game."
this. KOTOR, just in terms of story and moral choice system, and we talked about kind of the dark light paradigm being kind of stringent in terms of Jedi. Like, you're either good or you're bad. It's not like gray area, but I think that's what made KOTOR so great, is you could really start experimenting with the path. Like, I feel like being good the first half of the game, and then you'd get all these light side benefits and all these light side bonuses like healing and group powers. Or you go to the dark side, you get all the lightning and attack and drain life and all the vicious attacks. So it's defense versus offense, and it really the design of it is just, and the game is so much content, man. Yeah. Every time I played it, I've beaten that game like 5 times. Every time I played it, I have found a new side quest, a new thing that I've missed. It is just stocked. It is stocked full of content. Amazing.
Which is something maybe we're looking at. I don't know. Maybe.
KOTOR in terms of if walking underwater? Are you talking about the level with the what were the fish people called? What were they called?
Nearly there.
Kalisk. I think it was the Kalisk planet, or that was the people's name. I'd have to look
Not
it up.
sure.
I don't actually remember. They were actually like bipedal fish people, and they had giant fish heads, and they would talk like. It was
kind of
really
like Murlocs
strange.
from World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it was very strange people. Very strange.
You just switched to Denia.
Of course, the Rogue Squadron games, if you're into X-Wing
Oh,
stuff.
that's actually a big thing that I should have mentioned. Yeah, so obviously, with me being really into like the space ones, the original Rogue Squadron I played on Nintendo 64. Oof,
Awesome.
I loved it. And then the GameCube launch title,
Oh, yeah.
which was
GameCube one.
basically more or less
Same game,
the
just-
same game.
Just better graphics.
But
And now
oh man,
our final
I had so much fun with that.
And then they released a third one, which was the second one with co-op. And it was like, this is really cool. And I think you could also get out of your ships, but...
Yeah, they eventually ended a multiplayer point where you could run out of the ship, and that part was the weaker part of it.
Mhm.
But when you're in the ship, the graphical fidelity was so high, it just felt like you were there. And of course, the first level in Rogue Squadron on, I forgot if this is true of the 64 version, but the GameCube one was the Death Star run. And
that was the first level,
yeah, that's where they start you off, because I think you're Luke in that level, and then for the rest of the game you take on...
You also, I don't
what's his
remember
name
who you are.
again? Something with a W? I forgot his name, but he was in the first movie.
Yeah, he's Luke's friend. They
Yeah,
grew up with
they
on
showed him.
Tatooine.
They showed him
what is his
in the Death Star run
Yeah,
too.
they
Oh,
hug
good!
each
I
other.
found these guys. So let's
Need to
go
get some
donate.
donations.
Yeah. Oh, hey guys!
You can't put your guard
I
down.
was shopping, so I can do some
Wedge,
donations.
yes, Wedge, exactly.
Wedge Antilles.
Thank
There.
you. Thank you,
There we
Armadan.
go.
See? People are paying attention.
Yeah.
Alright, chronologically,
so I'm
that
going
would
to
put us like
donate most of my stuff here.
2002, 2003 still, so if we move a little bit farther, what came after that? I don't want to skip that far ahead. That's a little bit
There's
further ahead.
a many thing that came out after that point.
Yes, I'm trying to focus on the... Well, of course, the Lego Star Wars series, I think, had started. at
Yeah,
this point.
that was that's basically started the whole Lego.
That was
thing.
the phenomenon.
Yeah.
I think that one was just the first game, right? Like, that was just A New Hope.
Yeah, there were Lego games before it, but they didn't use that formula. Like
Yeah.
every Lego game, I think up from Lego Star Wars to Harry Potter, or right before Harry Potter, used just like the same style, and then they updated a little bit, and they had voice acting from that point on.
Yeah.
And then they made it far more cinematic afterwards.
Yeah,
but
I think that was around Lego Batman
yeah,
when they started
'cause
really
I
doing
used to
that.
play other I still play on Nintendo 64 like Lego Racing, which is
Yeah.
basically a Mario Kart clone.
Yeah.
And
like that stuff.
there are a bunch of other Lego games, and now you have Lego Dimensions, which I haven't even tried yet, but I hear it's very cool.
Yeah, there's lots of toys involved.
Thank you,
And
Jen.
Yeah.
scheme. And I'm kind of a...
So many characters.
Yeah, a lot of characters. A lot of different, disparate stuff, too. Battlefront, yes. I was a big Battlefront fan, because I like playing as a droid Dakar. I'm really into that. Like, I kind
can
of
go
like
in
the
for it.
droid armies, just because the way More so the way they appear in the games. Like, droids make for really good fodder if you're playing Jedi
for a game.
Like, if you're playing, like, I remember Jedi Power Battles where you could play as...
Got a boss fight.
Oh, yes. Mace Windu or Plo Koon or Jedi just mashing through droids. Feels so good to do.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you want to be Samuel L. Jackson?
With a purple sword? Yes. Awesome. Battlefront was amazing. I played the beta of the new one. I don't know if you've played the beta.
I have not, but I just have drooled at some of those screenshots.
Did you see the mod the guy did? I thought it had to be fake. It looked so good.
Yeah.
It was photorealistic. Brandon told me it was just shaders.
All right,
oh, look at that.
I'm pretty sure I just pronounced that wrong.
Barakel?
Barakel. There we go.
Look at that shield.
I'm always tempted to say, like, Baraka from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Baraka. Yeah.
Barakel.
Yeah, Barakel. There you go. Yeah. I think we got some voiceover in that sense where we just have the vicious thing. The 5 versus Barakel. Oh.
There we go. Alright, now he's going to start doing his AoE attacks at me, and then I'm just going to get out of here. Oh no, Uriah.
We move a little bit further. Most notable title I think is Force Unleashed. That was a pretty big deal. That was around 2008. It's around the same time as Resident Evil 5, remember, because people were downloading the demo.
Yeah, we actually have one of the person who made this this boss fight actually worked.
Yep. Bill worked on the
Wii
version of the Force Unleashed 2, I believe.
Yeah.
He worked at Red Fly, although he wouldn't tell me anything about the secret Darth Maul game.
Oh,
I was trying to get some confirmation on that. Yeah,
that would have been nice.
Well, recently, the studio head went on Reddit and was like, "I still have the design docs. Like, we can make this happen. Like, I just want to let everybody know, Darth Maul game can still happen.
It could happen.
It could happen."
Then Disney's like, "Nope."
They might. I don't know.
Oh yeah, you know. Well,
I
heard
how they feel about
Star Wars 1313. Have you heard much about that? Apparently, there's supposed to be this amazing Star Wars game that was coming out, and I only heard about it peripherally. I haven't heard any of the specifics, but it was supposed to be a pretty big deal. And after the Disney purchase of Lucas Arts or Lucasfilm, they initially canceled it. And I just saw something on PC Gamer or something like that it may live, it may come back.
I heard. Well, the same thing was said about Battlefront 3, though.
Well,
Battlefront 3
technically
was
we did get a
canceled.
new Battlefront.
Yeah, but they canceled it when Disney bought them out.
Oh,
That project was canceled, and then they brought it back.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
So,
It's maybe we'll get the third. I mean, the 1313 finally, which is.
Of course, there's Star Wars Galaxy, which I never actually played. That was a pretty big deal at the time.
Well, there's also a new one from another awesome developer recently, Kabam. They actually released. Well, I don't even know the name of it. Another Star Wars game that they released right here in town.
MMO? Or is it
No.
a Star Wars licensed game?
It's
It's
a mobile.
Was it the mobile
RPG?
game?
Yeah.
Yeah, the mobile ARPG. I actually played a little bit of that. It was it's all touch based, so you just kind of drag your finger to attack stuff. Yeah, played that.
There we go.
Am I forgetting anything? I feel like I might be forgetting something.
Yeah.
There was also there's Star Wars Humble Bundle
Well,
6 months ago. And I picked up a lot of stuff. There's a lot of really cool pinball games by the guys who did Zen Studios did a bunch of really cool stuff.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of their stuff.
Yeah, they did a really good job on all of those.
Pinballs. Yeah.
Oh, I never played Bounty Hunter, and they never ported that to PC, and that was supposed to be awesome. Where you play the whole game as Jango Fett.
Here we go.
You killed a boss.
I did.
All right, guys, we're gonna head out in a few. So let me go through some stuff, because what better place than killing a boss? Killing the boss. We are Kingdom Games ATX. If you have any questions for Joe or me or the studio, just drop them in the chat real quick. Our game is 5 Guardians of David. That's what you're seeing us play right here. You can find us on all your favorite social media at Kingdom Games ATX. That's Kingdom Games Austin, Texas. Kingdom Games ATX. KingdomGames.com, and I'll put you a bunch of links here. I am here every Thursday afternoon with someone from the dev team, such as the awesome Joe. And if you want to see more of Joe, then you should just tweet at Kingdom Games ATX. Say, we want Joe next week. Get Chris out of there. More Joe. Less Chris. We can make it happen. It's pretty easy. This week we're talking Star Wars and all of our favorite games in the Star Wars franchise. And next week we won't be here, and the following week we won't be here because we're on Christmas break. But we will be back the first Thursday of January with Stephen Donnelly doing art. He's going to be doing an art stream. If you've ever played Shroud of the Avatar or you're familiar with Pen of the Avatar, Stephen used to do art streaming, and now he's back doing it.
Nice.
It's pretty cool. Joe, any last thoughts? Last words? How about your Star Wars game we haven't mentioned, or your favorite Star Wars game of all time, if we have mentioned it?
I think we mentioned it. I'm pretty fond of Shadows of the Empire, or even Rogue Squadron, too. But I also like to tack on that, look forward to 5 after that, too. Because we're going to have a lot more stuff coming on.
Yes.
Secret plans are going to be implemented eventually. So,
yes,
look forward to it.
Secret plans for 5 are coming. If you want to know what they are, you can just tweet at me with, I don't know, how about hashtag what's in the box? That's good, right? Hashtag what's in the box.
That might get some dark stuff coming up.
Hashtag 5 Guardians. Ask whatever you want. Ask, and maybe I can leak some documents. I've been trying to sneak some camera shots over people's shoulders and some whiteboards. They don't like that. So I'm going to try and get it to happen, though.
Yeah.
So we are Kingdom Games. I'll be back in...
Hashtag 5 lives.
5 lives. 5 lives. There we
Hashtag.
go. 5 lives. 5. Anyway, we're going to continue developing 5, and we will have nice surprises coming for you soon, and a patch most likely tomorrow night. So if you already have the game, let us know. Oh, there's one thing I forgot. We are doing a key drop. This is exciting. So, I'm going to give you some characters that you can enter into Steam so you can win a free copy of 5. This is for the 5 raffle. We are doing a raffle on our Steam group on 5. For every 100 followers, we will give away 1 copy of 5. We are rounding out at 1,400 followers, heading up to 1,500, and we cannot wait to hit our next goal. We want to give away copies of 5. We really want to bring the Christmas spirit.
Get in the raffle.
Here
You'll
we
like
go.
what's coming.
Here you go, guys. Enjoy a free copy of 5.
Nice.
That is it. That is it for us, the Kingdom Games Studio. Joe, thank you for being on.
No problem. Thank you, Chris.
And we will be back January with Stephen Donnelly. Have a good day, everybody.